The thing that got me into internet horror, it wasn't creepypasta. You know, that I think is a gateway for a lot of people. I've talked pretty openly that I was kind of almost late to creepypasta compared to most people. The thing that got me into internet horror was weird YouTube. The phenomenon of these creepy videos that, you know, did the rounds on channels like Top 15s and Chills. I am a Chills head. You cannot tell me nothing.
My name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you've ever been curious as to what I look like in real life, then follow me on Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT with underscores instead of spaces.
I love this man. I love that man to this day. Do I still watch Top 15s? Absolutely not. Do I cherish the way that he individually completely changed the way my brain works because he exposed me to all this stuff? Yes. I cherish it very much. So I thought it would be fun today to take some of the classic weird side of YouTube videos and do a little tier list, because who doesn't love a tier list? I like making them. I think you like watching them. So who am I? Why does this matter? My name is glitchwitch.jpg. I make videos about internet horror, ranging from analog horror, digital horror, creepypastas, internet urban legends, ARGs, sometimes survival horror video games, you know, all that good stuff. So this is right up my alley. And, you know, I've been talking about analog horror and like ARG stuff a lot lately. So I wanted to do a little bit of a throwback, baby. Who doesn't love a throwback? And what exactly is the weird side of YouTube, or weird YouTube? Weird YouTube is the term that I see most people use to describe it, and it essentially refers to back in the day, way back in the day in like 2012. So really not that far back in the day. You would stumble upon these random videos that were kind of creepy, kind of funky. Sometimes they crossed into other, you know, realms of internet horror like creepypasta and ARG and stuff like that. So people would just say, oh, I stumbled on the weird side of YouTube. So that's what I'm referring to it as, just because like that's the only way to describe such a broad variety of content. Like, these videos don't necessarily have anything in common other than that they captured the attention of us all from like 2009 to like 2016. So I have curated my own choices on what I think of when I think of the weird side of YouTube. Now, there's going to be ones you probably like that I missed. Some of these maybe you don't consider weird side of YouTube. I will go and say I have not included any analog horror. I think that's past like peak weird YouTube. That's its own thing. That's separate. Because to me, part of weird YouTube is you had to like buy into the mystery of it a little bit. And there's one on this list that I literally made an entire video about how it's like signaled the end of this era of internet horror. So maybe I'll get into that a little bit more later. But without further ado, let's get into this tier list. So we have, I often with my tier list like to do cutesy wootsy little names. I didn't with this one because sometimes I kind of shoot myself in the foot with that, because like it's a cutesy wootsy little name that makes it like not fit, not make sense. Like it could be something that like, oh, I don't really like it, but like I've named the D list like something horrific and awful, that maybe that's not how I feel about the thing. So for this one, because there's such a variety, I just did your classic. S is the best of the best of the, oh my god, it's amazing. A is, this is really damn good. B is like, cool, it's in the middle. C is like, I don't really like this. And D is like, this shit is not for me. So bear with me, I'm gonna have to reference some of these, because when I see some of them in the thumbnail, I'm like, what the f is that? Because it's so small and like maybe not emblematic of the entire, like some things aren't hard to distill into an image, you know what I mean? But anyway, without further ado, let's start off with Gateway of the Mind. So we're starting off strong here with a creepypasta coded entity. So Gateway of the Mind is an older creepypasta. I think it's like 2009, and I would conflate it, like I would compare it to the Russian sleep experiment. I don't know which came first, actually, but essentially, the creepypasta goes that a group of scientists, like, essentially get rid of a person's all of their senses in an attempt for that person to make contact with God. So they get this guy to do so. He starts to, like, cry out, scream. He's seeing his dead wife. He can tell the scientists, like, who their dead relatives are. Eventually, essentially, he makes contact with God after, like, losing it and, like, clawing at his face, hurting himself, harming himself, and he says that he has spoken with God and he has abandoned us, and then he dies on the spot. Now, whatever, very, like, base level creepypasta, right? Very base level creepypasta. Nothing, like, again, it's very similar to Russian sleep experiment to me. But the thing about this and why this fits on the whole weird side of YouTube is there is a video that accompanies this. Okay, so the creepypasta was written in 2009, but the video was connected with it in 2012. And the thing is, this video is allegedly showing the person that the creepypasta is describing, but it is actually performance art by the performance artist Oliver de Sagazan, and it's just him, like, transforming his body using clay and deconstructing the clay and stuff, and it's really cool. Like, I like this just as an art piece. I like this video. Do I think the creepypasta is great? No, it's very, like, there are better creepypastas, right? So I'm gonna put this in B because, like, I think the creepypasta is mid. But I like his performance. You know what I mean? Like, I think it looks cool. So I'm going to put it in B as a solid B. But I do think that's fun. I love what it's the creepypasta stuff. It's what came first, chicken or the egg. Because some things, like, you know, like Jeff the Killer. Image is super compelling. The story's awful. Is the image super compelling? I don't know. We find it compelling because of the mystery, I guess. But this is another case of, like, oh, the image is really cool. The creepypasta sucks. You know what I mean? Like, recently, speaking of, like, famous images and the creepypastas that accompany them, recently Creepcast, the Wendigoon and Meat Canyon creepypasta podcast, did Eyeless Jack, and that's, like, a creepypasta image I know very well. I had never heard the story for Eyeless Jack. Y'all, it's so bad. It's so bad. I was laughing my ass off because it's so bad. Okay, anyway, this is not a creepypasta video. I'm moving on. So the next one, it's my girl, it's my diva. I made a whole video about how this video is responsible for killing this entire genre. And that would be, let me check, man, because I can never say it correctly. Okay. It's 11BX 1371. Now, again, I made a whole video about this. I'm not going to get into this, but essentially, literally go watch the video if you want to know everything about it. But it was one of those, it was a creepy video, and there's subtext, there's subliminal messages about killing the president, and we mailed it out to random journalists, and I don't like this video. I think it's very overrated. I think it's very try-hard. So the next one is, it's a weird one because there's, like, real world implications to this one. So yes, this one is referred to as 112 Dirtbag, and it's a video of a man who, he uploaded a video on February 11th, 2011, and the video was called Happy Anniversary, and he just laughs for the whole video. And the thing is, a lot of people thought that he was responsible for the disappearance of a woman named Maura Murray. Now, Maura disappeared on February 9th, 2004, after her car crashed. The reason that this was connected to that is obviously the timing. It was posted several days after she went missing, so I think some people linked it to being, oh, he killed her on February 11th of the year she disappeared, so it's the anniversary of him killing her. And her dad had referred to whoever did this to her as a dirt bag on the news. So it was riffing on that. Now, he did not actually do this. This is just some old guy that was trolling and just wanted attention. It's a classic example of just some sicko that wants to pull attention from, you know, an actual real life tragedy. And, you know, I think this just captivated the internet at the time because people thought it was actually him. Of course, everyone's compelled by the thought of a serial killer uploading a video to YouTube, right? But no, it's just some asshole old man. So I'm going to put that in D just because, like, I get back in the day before we knew it was disproven why it captured the interest of people. And I don't think anyone's wrong for, like, being intrigued by it. But just, like, he's such an idiot that I'm putting it in D. So next we have the Agamemnon counterpart, which is, like, just to me, like, if you could put, like, a mascot for weird YouTube, I feel like the Agamemnon counterpart is that. And it's just this crazy animated clip that opens up saying, like, in the future, you know, aliens find this VHS tape. It's the last remnant of human civilization. This is not that tape. And then it's just crazy, wacky, psychedelic. And, you know, it's not my personal favorite or anything, but I do think it's emblematic of, you know, weird YouTube. So I'm going to give that one a B. Just because, like, it's just kind of trippy for trippy's sake. So now we're getting into the good shit. We have Alan Tutorial, which Alan Tutorial is Unfiction. I would call it an Unfiction project created by Alan Resnick, who is a backbone of the internet horror community. He's worked on things like unedited footage of a bear, and this house has people in it. And Alan Tutorials was a series that he created following Alan, the titular Alan, who is a young man. It can be interpreted in a variety of ways. He's either literally a little boy with Alan Resnick playing Alan, or he is a young man with developmental disabilities. And he uploads these tutorial videos, clearly trying to get popularity online following the very popular tutorial format of the time. And as we see these tutorials, his story unfolds. He is, you know, being taken care of by his brother because his parents are no longer able to take care of him. He cannot take care of himself, so that's where, you know, it could be read either way if he is a child or has developmental disabilities. And it ends up unfolding that it's like an allegory for internet fame and exposure and the relationship between a creator and its audience. And I love Alan Tutorials. That's an automatic S tier for me. I've watched it about 3 times now. I watched it once by myself. I watched the Night Mind video for it, and then Sagan Hawks made a really good video talking about, like, that subgenre of internet horror, and I watched it again through that, and it's just, like, it's really good. I think it's gold standard Unfiction. And it's really made its mark. I mean, he has really made his mark on internet horror on the whole. So we love Alan Resnick here. Okay. So moving on, we have Barbie.avi, which is another instance of, like, it's a creepypasta, a video that has nothing to do with the creepypasta that is with it. And essentially in the creepypasta, this guy finds a computer, and there's a file on the computer called Barbie.avi, and there's this woman who only has one arm being interviewed, and then it cuts to this footage of train tracks. He recognizes the location, so he goes to this house by the train tracks, and then he hears a moan in the house, so he leaves because he's scared. It's not a good creepy. It's fine. I don't know. Videos of this woman, I believe her name is Sharon from what the creepypasta wiki says, and she lost her arm when she was 16 due to a accident with a washing machine. There's nothing creepy. It's just an accident, and she's talking about her life after the accident. So not my favorite. I would put that in the C. I don't know. Nah, I'm gonna put it in D. I don't really care about it. Okay, next one, classique blankroomsoup.avi. Okay, yeah, so blankroomsoup.avi I mean, this thing captured the hearts and minds of the internet when this appeared. And it's these two big puppet guys walking in and like petting this guy while he cries and eats soup. So, I mean, people were like, it's a snuff thing, they're gonna kill him, they're feeding him people, they're, you know, all this crazy stuff. And the costumes are stolen costumes from the performance artist, actor, comedian Raymond Percy, and these characters are called Ray Ray. It's just like a, you know, character of himself kind of that he created. He says that 2 of them were stolen, and I personally think that he did it as like a stunt. I don't know. But it's crazy, it's silly, it's classic. I'm gonna give it a B just because, like, it's iconic. Kind of the same way that, like, the Agamemnon counterpart, it's not my favorite, but like, you can't deny the chokehold that it had on all of us back in the day. So next I have the haunted Kleenex commercial. And this one it's a Japanese Kleenex commercial. And essentially it's this weird. It is weird. It's a woman and a little baby, and the baby is dressed up like an oni, which is a Japanese creature spirit. And there's this rumor that like the song is saying like die, 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 even though it's literally not at all. And there's a rumor that they both died, that she passed away and the kid died from being poisoned by the paint. It's not true. They're fine. They're alive and well. But I do believe the ad got pulled because it like made so many people uncomfortable. So this is a solid like C to me. It's fine. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I feel like people just made an urban legend and it's fine. But I think the ad is cool, but like the internet horror of it all, eh. Next, we have another all-timer. It's almost like I love ARGs. What the hell? Daisy Brown. Daisy Brown was called an ARG back in the day. I would just call Daisy Brown compelling unfiction. So Daisy Brown is a series about a young woman, Daisy Brown, who is raised by her father, kind of sheltered, and her father disappears, and she is left with one of her father's creations, which is a little monster named Alan. And I loved this when it came out, and I still love it to this day. I think it's really well done. I think it handles the like vlog unfiction style very well. And this is created by Jules Dapper, who now is active on YouTube, kind of just doing their own thing. One time someone said that I reminded them of Jules Dapper, and I'm gonna hold on to that till I die because I love Jules Dapper. I love Jules. Like, so funny, so talented. And Daisy Brown is an instant S tier for me. I just love it. And I think it inspired a lot of things that came after it. You notice, I feel like I'm talking more shit than I am saying about the things that I like, but I love Daisy Brown. Okay, next we have Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. I talked about this in the analog horror, digital horror tier list I did, and I'm not a big fan of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. I'm gonna put it in C. It's just one of those things where, like, I'm really happy that it has gone on to be so successful. It's gotten a TV adaptation on, I believe, the BBC, and I think that's great. Or Channel 4, I don't know, it's British. It's not for me. It's not my style of horror or comedy, but I am proud that it has made the leap. You know what I'm saying? Next we have Grave Robbing for Morons, which I think is a fun one. It's this video of this kid talking about, well, exactly what the title is. And I think people still have not found out who this kid is. And this one's interesting because it's like not solely internet horror. It's older. It's from, I believe, 1990, and it would just appear in like VHS like compilations that were sold like in the backs of magazines and stuff, and there's like no info on it, whether it's real or fake or not. No one's ever identified him. So I think it's a gem of like real analog horror. Like, this to me is very representative of where internet horror has come today. Like, the things that modern internet horror creators are making is very inspired by this. So I appreciate it for that. I'm going to put that in B. I mean, I like it. It is what it is. I like the mystery. You know what? I'm going to move it up to A. I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting that we know nothing about it, right? It's fun. So next we have Hi Walter. I forgot about this until I recently watched an Iceberg video, a weird YouTube Iceberg video. I'll like show it or link it. I can't remember off the top of my head who made it. And this was on there and I was like, holy shit. This was on like every like scary YouTube compilation. And this is essentially a video of a guy who's talking to his friends about, you know, he met a girl, he's so excited, blah, blah, blah. And then it's revealed that he has kidnapped this girl. And this is fake. It was not real. It was a skit, but it was very compelling. It freaks people out. And I remember watching this and like he's a good actor. The guy's a good actor. So I'll put this in B just because I remember being freaked out by it back in the day. Bad audio cell phone glitch, which is here. I have a note to make. I completely forgot while making this that this video was mistakenly tied to the disappearance of a real woman named Caleb Berg. And I don't know that it was the intention of the filmmakers to make that connection, but people did, and the video ended up being investigated by the police to make sure that it was not Caleb Berg. My rating, I don't know, I'm gonna keep it where it is because I don't think it was the intention, whereas like with 112 Dirtbag, his intention was to be, you know, an asshole. But I just wanted to make that note that this was kind of connected to a real case, which I don't love as much, but I really don't think it was their intention. Okay, I had to make that note. Go back to old me. Oh baby, we got a classic. So I didn't include a lot of the like paranormal caught on tape things because I feel like that's a subgenre of its own. That I'm like iffy on. I mean, I like it. We all know I love a good like gnome caught on tape, goblin caught on tape type beat, right? Very real, very authentic. But I had to include this because, oh, you can't have weird YouTube without the goat, or should I say the pig. I have the body of a pig. This is a classic video. These guys are in some abandoned place and they say they hear this voice saying, I have the body of a pig. And then this is the picture that they took.
Get him. You get him. Get him. Get him. Jesus, look at that, mate. It's exactly like the one over there, look.
Misty.
It's right underneath, isn't it? Everything.
This is S tier to me. I'm so sorry. I have the body of a pig. I love it. I think about it all the time. Like, that's one of those just like vocal tics in my head all the time. Love, 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 love. Next, we have another classic, the K-Fee car commercial, which K-Fee was a German instant coffee brand, and they had this run of advertisements that were designed to, you know, show you need the jolt, you need to be awake. So they were essentially big jump scares, and this car one, it goes down in internet history. Because this, you know, it's this beautiful, peaceful car, and then this zombie face jumps up at you. And, I mean, it's the classic screamer. It's the classic jump scare. I know all of you see that car, and you are just, you know it's coming. So, I'm not going to give it S tier because, like, it's one of those things, it is just intrinsically part of the landscape. I don't feel strongly about it besides the fact that, like, it is part of my life now, and I have no choice. So, I'm giving it A because of that. It's just crazy, man. Like, it makes me laugh. Like, I see that car and I giggle. Next we have the Max Headroom incident, which similarly to like grave robbing for morons, it's not internet specific. It just happened to capture the attention of the internet in this weird YouTube era. So I'm gonna foster this in. So the Max Headroom incident happened in 1987 in Chicago, and essentially someone hijacked a news station in Chicago. They were wearing a Max Headroom mask. Max Headroom was I don't know if popular is the right word. It was a TV show from the time. I watched it recently. Y'all go watch fucking Max Headroom. Holy shit. It kind of rips. It's really good. Like, for no reason. Like, aesthetically, very compelling. Anyway, not the point. And, you know, there's nothing, like, crazy. It's not that bad. He, like, shows his butt, and, like, a lady smacks his butt with a fly swatter. But it's not that. It's not the contents of it that has compelled people. It's the fact that we still don't have any clue who did this, which is kind of crazy that they were never able to identify it. Still to this day, there's no information on who did it. And, like, yeah, it's, when you first see it, it's very scary and jarring, and you don't really know what to do with it. It's one of the things where I'm, like, desensitized to it now. Like, I don't find it as creepy because I've just seen it so many times. But it's classic. I'll give it an A tier because, like, come on. That's the Max Headroom incident. Okay, next we have Meat Sleep, which is another one that I just forgot about until I watched that one Iceberg video. And Meat Sleep was we like to use the word ARG a little too much back in the day when they were really just avant-garde art projects, but it was a video series. It was weird. I still don't know what it was about. I remember, like, being into it when it came out because I was very artistic back then. Not really my thing now, so I'm gonna give Meat Sleep a C. Maybe I'll go rewatch it and maybe my mind will be changed. And if that's the case, I will make a redaction in a future video where I apologize to Meat Sleep personally. Next, we have another banger, another classic, Marina Mordregard Glesgorv. Shit, you know I didn't say that correctly. This guy, you know him, you love him. This is another one where, like, it's a creepy video and there's a creepypasta attached to it. And honestly, the creepypasta, I love. I fucking love it. It's like, people are so affected by the full version of this video that they take their eyes out and mail them to YouTube headquarters. I love that. I'm sorry, that, like, I think if you're gonna make a stupid creepypasta or a stupid urban legend, you need to commit to ripping your eyes out and then mailing them to YouTube headquarters. You know what I mean? Like, Gateway of the Mind and, like, Barbie.avi, there's not enough, it's not that shit enough. You either need to be written really well, like something like Baraska or The Left Right Game, or you need to be batshit like this one. So I can't in good faith give it an S. I'm giving it an A. I have to take Body of a Pig back to A. I'm sorry. I'm looking at this. I'm, like, looking at Body of a Pig next to two of the most compelling Unfiction projects I've ever seen. I have to move it down. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, I feel better on myself now. I'm sorry. I just imagine you rip your eyeballs out and you write. What is YouTube headquarters? You write out 301 Cherry Avenue, San Bruno, California. Whatever the zip code is. 34066. While you're just bleeding out. I'm sorry. I love it. We have Obey the Walrus. Frankly, I can't do this right now. I cannot explain this to you. There's so much with this that I didn't even know about till recently. Blame It on Jorge put out a video on this that had so much background that I had no clue about, and I think a lot of people didn't because it was a language barrier. A lot of the information about this was in Spanish, and it's a crazy story that I can't even begin to explain, but this video, it's a compilation of a bunch of creepy shit. And one thing I do want to put in right here, right now, this video unfairly turned a really cool performer, the Goddess Bunny, into something to be scared of and something to be laughed at. Goddess Bunny, who was a really cool performer. She was a trans woman and drag performer, and the reason that she looks the way she looks is she contracted polio when she was a young person, and you know, she went through a lot of hardships having to go through polio. She came out as trans very young at 14, which, you know, is a really brave thing to do anyway, but especially, you know, she was born in 1960, so, you know, people were not as accepting then. So she had a really long-held career. She was in a lot of music videos. She performed at a lot of clubs and stuff. Like when people are pulled into this community for the right reasons, but I always did not like how this video used her to be kind of like a scary thing when, you know, she's just a disabled performer that maybe doesn't look like you or I look, but that doesn't make her scary. She was a very bright, vibrant, fun person, and sadly she passed away of COVID in the early 2020s, and that's what I want to say about this video. That's my only takeaway. I don't want to get, if you want to get into the lore of Obey the Walrus, go watch that Blame It on Jorge video. It's a very good video, but I don't like the demonization of the Goddess Bunny, so rest in peace to her. I'm gonna put it in D for that, because to this day that kind of bothers me. I'm not gonna lie, it's just kind of ableist and transphobic and shitty, and I don't like it. But I did like the Goddess Bunny. I think at one point we were mutuals on Instagram, which is crazy. So now we have a banger that I love, Possibly in Michigan. This is another one. It's not made in the internet era. It was older. Yeah, so this is a short film that was created by Cecilia Condit in the 80s, I believe. Yeah, what year was it? Yeah, 1983. It was shot on video, which is, shot on video is a whole like subgenre of filmmaking that I think is really cool that I'm not gonna get into. Maybe someday I will. But Possibly Michigan is a great short film. It's like a short horror musical about these women who are stalked by this masked man, and it's just such a weird, crazy, cozy, just fever dream. I love Possibly in Michigan, and I'm from Michigan, so I was like, that it was filmed in Ohio, which like average Ohio trip to the mall is this, and I'm not even, Ohio has become a meme, but as someone who is from Michigan, I want you to know that it is genuinely a scary place, and I don't like going there. So this is the average Ohio experience. Possibly in Michigan is an S for me, just because I'm so delighted by it. I get the song stuck in my head all the time. Cecilia, you a real one for making this one. And women in film, am I right, divas? Thank you. Again, we love to call shit ARGs when it was just Unfiction or short horror story, right? Yeah, so I don't know what I would call this, but it was a series about this guy had this corpse that he called Daisy, and there was an overarching story that I don't quite remember, and yes, I should have watched it before this, but that would have required me to rewatch all 32 of these things, and I'm just not in the mood for that, especially not for something that I low-key couldn't have forgot existed. But I remember really liking this when it came out. I think Rainbot made a video about it probably, and so I'm gonna put it in C with Meat Sleep. Robert Helpman and Meat Sleep are very like of the same mind to me. Next we have, I mean, I don't even have to say anything, S tier, Shay St. John. Specifically, the hand thing is the big weird YouTube Shay St. John video. I made an entire video on Shay St. John. Truly incredible. I love the hell out of Shay. Say that 10 times fast. Shay St. John. Go watch my video if you want to learn more about her. But S tier, automatic S tier. Love. Salad Fingers, an OG. Truly walked so the rest of, you know, animated internet horror could run. I've never been a huge Salad Fingers girly myself. I watched it. I had friends that really liked him. He's fine. I have nothing against him. I think he's neat. But I'm just gonna, it's B for me. And David Firth is the creator. Shout out to David Firth. But yeah, not my favorite. I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, when I see him, I'm like, ooh, internet horror guy. But not my favorite. Now we have, I can't say this, endoflifemouse.avi, which is a creepypasta about a cursed Mickey Mouse cartoon. It's bad. I don't like it. To me, it's another lost episode creepypasta, but it was everywhere. I remember seeing it everywhere. Now we have a banger of a lost episode creepypasta, which is Squidward's End of Life. And man, I gotta give it A tier. Not because it's good. This is truly me looking at this with rose-colored glasses. I've talked about it on this channel before. I thought this shit was real when I was like a whole 17-year-old. I had my driver's license, and I thought that this was a real... I didn't know it was a creepypasta. And that is why you should let your kids go online. Not that my parents didn't let me go online, we just didn't have reliable internet access till it was too late. So yeah. Now, let me be clear about this. I didn't see the video and think, oh, this is real, because it's bad. I watched it recently. It is not convincing. I read the whole thing and thought that the, like, upset Nickelodeon employee did this to get back at Nickelodeon. That's what I thought. One day I'll be brave enough to make an entire video on this. I just have to get around not being able to say the name of the creepypasta, because YouTube will taking it back and old yeller me. That's what I'll call it, Squidward's self-old yellering. Oh, that'll get old. So now we have Teddy has an operation, and this is so 20, like, 10s, teens core. Funny British man does a narration over something that's creepy, but it's cute, but it's creepy, and it's just like a teddy bear getting surgery, and it's kind of gross because there's like real like meat and stuff, but overall it's cute. And this is just Teddy has an operation to kill him. Holy shit, guys. Oh, Teddy has an operation, has shooters that are killing me with their mental powers. Holy shit. It's just very, like, this shows up on my Tumblr feed, and I reblog it. Ugh. So I'm gonna give it C. I don't really care. It's not bad, but it's just not for me. The Dawn Is Your Enemy is a Adult Swim bumper. Adult Swim had all of us in a chokehold, and as a Smiling Friends fan, it still has me in a chokehold. They were like, we need that bitch back. Here's a Galep. And I was done for. They had me. Dawn Is Your Enemy. This never creeped me out. I never quite got why, like, of all the Adult Swim bumpers, this was like, this is the weird YouTube one. I like the art, but it's just never really freaked me out. So I'm gonna give it a C. Okay. We got another banger. The Dining Room or This Is Nothing. When I think of weird YouTube and this era of internet horror, I think of this diva. And this, again, it's older. It's from the 90s. It is an art piece, a short film directed by David B. Earl. And I love it. Like, it is compelling. It gets under your skin. I think she is that moment, the diva, the doll. I would love to see a drag performer do a There Is Nothing number. I gotta go. It's S for me. I know it's so simple, but I love it. It's so good. Now we have another Alan Resnick banger, This House Has People in It. Realizing that I didn't put on footage of a bear in this, but you know what? It's fine. That's my least favorite of his, to be perfectly honest. So, This House Has People in It is a project that Alan Resnick worked on for Adult Swim. It's crazy. I can't begin to explain it. There's a whole ARG component outside of just the video. And Nightmind has a great video breaking down the ARG. So, check those out. But it's an A for me. I know to some people that this is like the ultimate Alan Resnick thing. It's always gonna be Alan tutorials for me though. Username 666. love username 666. This is like so. I feel like this is what my brain looks like. Like if you were to go inside, it's really scary tabs. So username 666, automatic S tier. This was created by Nana825763 in 2008, so this really is an OG. And it's essentially following, it's an urban legend that if you type it in and go through the exact steps shown in the video, that you will unlock this scary thing. And I love it. I think it's such a beautiful leap from just urban legend to internet urban legend to YouTube urban legend. It's so iconic. I love it. I wish that every single creepypasta video was this well made, because Nana is a visual artist. They're very talented. I love it. I love it. I can't say enough about username 666. Truly a classic. Next, we have the Wyoming incident, proto, wave 1 analog horror. So, it's a legend that there was a broadcast hijacking, and it's not real. It's not true. But it's there's the analog horror scary face, there's creepy text, there's this, there's that. It's I think that this was probably really freaky in the moment, when it came out, but now things Local 58 have kind of bodied it, you know what I mean? But I do think it is a lovely precursor to what analog horror has become now. Do I think that Local 58 and Gemini and Mandela have one-upped it? Yes, I do. But I'll give it B for its contributions to the genre that I love so much, analog horror. Okay, we have 2 more, and they're bangers. WebDriver Torso was a classic YouTube mystery. It was this channel that just uploaded these blue and red squares at an insane frequency with these codes, and people thought it was all sorts of weird conspiracy things, but all it was a test for YouTube.com. It was a thing Google was doing to test. They even started uploading little jokes because they saw that people were watching them very intently. So I mean there's not much to this, but I'm gonna give it A just because it's iconic to me. I should have done WebDriver Torso makeup for this video. And then what better way to finish off a weird YouTube tier list than with the queen of all, Miss Tara the Android. I feel fantastic. She is the moment, she is the icon, she is the diva, she is the doll, literally, because she is a doll. So Tara the Android, I feel fantastic. This video shows our queen, Tara the Android, in the sweater and that ass bob singing I Feel Fantastic, and the most beautiful voice you ever heard in your life. And, it's creepy without any other. You don't need a creepypasta story to make this weird. It's just weird. It's a giant sex doll looking lady singing with a robot voice. You don't need the bonus story. But the video cuts to this backyard, so people started the rumor that the guy that created her was a serial killer, and he killed the real Tara and he buried her in the yard, and then he made this robot. It's not true. He's just a interesting guy that likes to make robot ladies. Which, who am I to judge? But I love Tara the Android. I think she is emblematic of internet horror on the whole, but especially this era of internet horror and of weird YouTube. I would love to see her, Shay St. John, and the There Is Nothing girl. Those are the divas of internet horror. Come on now. The queens. I love it so much. They all look like dolls, low-key, so that they are the dolls. I love even Tara the Android they made a Tara the Android reference in the latest season of Smiling Friends, and I literally lost my shit. Of course those guys love this shit. They were on Newgrounds. You know what I mean? But it made me so happy. And there were people that were like, what the is that? And I'm like, I'm old. The youth don't know anymore. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your favorite weird YouTube videos. Let me know ones that I didn't include that you wish I would have. I know I can't do every single video ever, but these are the ones, to me, that are the best of the best. And if you have any analog horror series, digital horror series you want me to watch, I've been loving your suggestions. If there are any of these specific things I cover here that you'd like me to devote a whole video to, let me know, because like I said, I've already done a Shay video. I already did an 11BX $13.71 video. So really, I would be happy to deep dive any of these. Of course, some of them you can't really, like I can't deep dive WebDriver Torso. There's not really much to say, right? But you get the gist. You get what I mean. But I want to thank my lovely YouTube members. We have our Creepypasta OC up on the screen, but then we also have in Survival Horror Emo, we have E-Rob, Odini, and So-Called Punk. And then in Analog Horror Scary Face, we have Kira Coffer. So thank you so much. If you want to become a YouTube member, just check out my channel. There should be a link to join. There's 3 tiers. No pressure. Really, you liking, commenting, subscribing, that means the world. So thank you so much for watching. Go discover the weird side of YouTube for yourself. Bye.